Minister, here we go. Yes. We will send them out into the world to prosper and grow. Yes, and send the message out. Our very last speaker today is Rob Thompson, and he will be speaking. He's also an SOM4 graduate. He will be doing his orals with the other two this summer at Asilomar, and he will be speaking on wisdom.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Wow, what a position behind two great speakers. I am, I was nervous when I got assigned wisdom because I don't think of myself as particularly wise, and then after light and love, I mean, what do I do? I'm working on that. So my name is Robert Thompson. I am a practitioner here at the center. I'm a ministerial graduate, and I'm here to talk about wisdom. And like I said, I was a little nervous when I got assigned this talk because I didn't know what to say. And then I figured out, it's not about me, it's not about my own wisdom. I don't have to do that. All I need to do is remind everybody here about the universal wisdom that you already have inside. The universal wisdom, the universal truth, is something that we all have access to. It's something that we really already know. We already have it. Some examples. God is light. God is love. We are spiritual beings. There is only now. Women love getting flowers. Guys, that's free universal wisdom. And it sort of goes into the thing of do unto others, not really as you want them to do unto you, but do unto them as they want to be done unto them. Because, like a guy might say, well, I want a new car battery. So don't give her a car battery, it won't work. As a matter of fact, one time Linda called me and she said, I was just, had this little daydream thing, and I had this dream that you were going to bring me some flowers today. She said, I wonder what that means. And I said, well, you'll know when I get home. And when she got home, or when I got home, she was looking sort of expectantly at me, and I got my hands behind my back, and she said, where's the flowers? I said, I don't have any flowers, but I got you this book, The Interpretation of Dreams. So Ernest Holmes says, hey, it was a joke, I didn't really do it, I was doing that for effect, okay? You can ask her later. Ernest Holmes said that universal wisdom becomes ours to the extent that we embody it. Only to the extent that we embody it. And he talks about that with wisdom, with principle. He was all about the embodiment of this teaching. Dr. Jim says that too. It's about the embodiment of the teaching. If we don't embody it, we don't experience it. When we embody it, then we do experience it. This always happens at the level of our own consciousness. And everybody is at their own level. No two of us in this room are at the exact same level of consciousness. And I know that my own consciousness changes. Sometimes I'm having a really good day and I can be really grounded and centered, and I can have a really strong consciousness and feel like I'm really doing well in my spiritual work and really embodying this teaching. And then there's some times when for whatever reason, it's not working for me quite as much. And so my consciousness isn't always the same. And I think that's true for all of us. So the consciousness changes not only over time, And I think that we all grow as we do our spiritual practice. But it changes moment by moment and day by day. There's a saying you may have heard that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. I think a better explanation of this is that when the student is ready, the teaching becomes apparent. Because really, none of the three of us are really telling you anything new. We are merely reminding you of what you already know, reminding you of these universal truths. That's really all this is. And each of us gains wisdom at our own pace in our own way. You can be you can have someone telling you the same thing over and over and over and not hear it and not hear it, or you can hear it in your head and not have it be in your heart. When I was a young man, I was angry about some things. And people would tell me, you got to get rid of that anger, you got to let it out, you got to process it. You know, they were giving me all this advice. And I was not in a place where I wanted to hear it. I was not in a place where I was ready to listen to it. But I did a little work, and then all of a sudden I went, my goodness, I'm very angry. I need to get rid of this anger. I need to process it out. Did they suddenly become right? No. I changed. My consciousness was elevated. I became ready to hear something new. I became ready to hear a different message. Learning is cyclic. And it really doesn't matter what the subject is. Spiritual learning is cyclic. Mathematics is cyclic. For example, I love this. You can learn the laws, the rules of addition and subtraction. And you start off with single digits. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. And then you get into numbers with tens and hundreds. 12 and 12 is 24. I'm going to stick to really simple things so I don't mess up here, right? And then you get into bigger and bigger numbers. It's the same rule, it's the same principle, the same law, but it's at a higher level. And then maybe you'll start learning how to add decimals. Decimals with different numbers of places after the end. What about adding fractions? Adding fractions together. Algebra, where you got all those variable things. What about geometry, where you learn to add different angles? Formulas. Adding 2 different formulas, 2 different equations. It's all still the law of addition. But as you learn more, you progress and you do things at a higher level. So each of us has this universal wisdom to the extent that we embody it. That's what this is about. We only experience it at the level that we embody it. Storytellers. I think we can learn a lot from storytellers because they make up lies to reveal a greater truth. C.S. Lewis is one of my favorite authors, and this is a direct quote out of one of his books. The trouble with trying to make yourself stupider than you really are is you very often succeed. Okay, when I was talking about being angry and not wanting to hear it, I was, in essence, making myself stupider than I really was. I had all of this wisdom available to me, and I wasn't taking advantage of it. There's that thing about free advice is usually worth what you pay for it. But sometimes it's a universal truth. And if that's a universal truth, it's something that resonates deep inside. It's something that comes up and comes out. It's our expression of who we are and how we are in the world. It's an expression of how God is, of God being light, and God being love, and God being wisdom. And we all have the chance to embody that. One of my favorite movies is Secondhand Lions. And here's another quote. I love this quote. Sometimes the things that may or may not be true are the things we need to believe in the most. That people are basically good. That honor, courage, and virtue mean everything. That power and money mean nothing. That good always triumphs over evil. That true love never dies. It doesn't matter whether these are true or not. It doesn't matter whether these are true or not. We should believe these things because these are things worth believing in. They are universal wisdom, universal truths. And as we embody them, we grow. As we embody them, we experience more good in our lives. That's the point of the teaching. Universal wisdom is often encapsulated in the littlest commandments. These little one-word things they're just true. They're commandments to do. And as we experience them, as we do them, our lives are enriched. Love. Love. Love is a commandment. Think. Especially think before you speak. It's another commandment. Grow. You know, little creatures, they grow into adults. There's a wisdom inherent in that. They don't need to do anything. They just need to be and to keep letting it come out and come forth. Learn. Sometimes it takes a long time to learn a lesson. But learn. It's another one of those universal commandments. And one that I need to remember every occasionally. Breathe. Sometimes I forget to breathe and I go, you know. So if anybody ever sees me holding my breath, just remind me, breathe, everything's fine. And let's back to there is only now. Right now, everything is fine. These are the reasons that we do our spiritual practice. These are the reasons why we meditate and we read and we're in fellowship, is to hang out with people who are attempting to learn these things, who are embodying things, so that we are all light and love together. So we do the practices of reading spiritual works, important words that other people have found useful and written down. Listening to people. The privilege that I had of listening to two of my classmates give these wonderful talks. I'm very honored. Thank you. Observation. Going out in nature and observing things. Going to the park and observing the children and the puppies and the little animals playing. Watching the wind blow the leaves. Just observing the way the universe works. Contemplation. That's a new practice that I've added, of having an idea and contemplating it, thinking about it, meditating on it. In addition to the meditation of being quiet and being still and letting that still small voice come out. And also discussion, talking about these wonderful ideas with other people, being with like-minded people, talking with them, and saying, what do you think about this? I heard Reverend Greg say something that was so great. This is what he said. What do you think of that? Sharing it, discussing. Because each of us has this universal wisdom. It's available. It's all around us. It comes from inside of us. We can observe it from all around us. It just is. And we experience it at the level that we embody it. And we embody it according to the level of our consciousness. So as we practice, we raise our consciousness and we embody more of it. Thank you very much for listening.